an example to be able to describe what it is to be in the box versus out of the box. In leadership and self-deception, getting out of the box, the basic principle revolves around the idea of behaviors. Somebody sitting in a chair on an airplane, spreading out their things, where the single behaviors might produce a different result, not because of necessarily all the actions or the circumstances of the situation, but because of how an individual looks at the world around them. When they are out of the box, or when we are out of the box, people, or you are looking at other people and recognize them as people. They are people with needs, with concerns, and just a little acknowledgement of that other people also have their own things that they're trying to balance and treating them as such. When you are in the box, like Mr. Irk, we would find that as opposed to viewing other people as people, we view them through a skewed lens where we see them as objects or competition. We see them as a conflict with our own needs that we are trying to have met. So about the actual getting in and getting out of the box, but at its basic explanation, that's what it is. The box is. It's this skewed lens of seeing the world around us. Out of the box, we can see people clearly. In the box, we're blinded by that. And did you want to? And we're going to pass the explanation about just kind of the state of being in the box and what the self-deception aspect is.
Yeah. So essentially, being in the box is just that you have a feeling, or you have a feeling that you should do the right thing, and then you choose not to do it, and in so doing, you're justified, and you're the victim, and you're the good person, and the person who did everything to do with your feeling is all of a sudden the bad guy. So it's just the way that you view the world. But
that's basically the foundation of the box.
Okay, group two.
So, yes, we're going to scrap that.
Okay, all right. All right, group two is going to talk to us about how we get in that box. As soon as you're ready.
Okay, well, so just to kind of introduce the concept there a little bit, but the foundation of being in the box is that you're completely me focused. And so everything is about how will this benefit me? How do I feel better? You're finding means to justify your actions or to justify why it is that you're doing what you're doing. And so we're going to go through and diagram a little bit kind of the choices that we have in those moments, as well as an example to show what it's like to be in the box.
So obviously by now we know that being in the box is not a good thing, but how we get in the box is something that we have to understand. Like what about what's happening is putting us in the box or out of the box. So usually what happens is it comes down to an action or a feeling. And we're going to act this out in just a second. So something happens, and sort of like your response to this is your choice. So a lot of times you can't control what action will happen or what feeling you might have, but this is the point where you can make the critical decision to be in or out of the box. And so two critical parts of this section are when you have that choice, go. Do you honor the feeling or what you value in that moment that you know you should do? So that would be what you honor. Do you betray it? So this concept of self-betrayal is the key part of this, because when you go against something that you know to be true, you know in your heart you're doing something wrong. But once you get in this cycle, as we learn, it's very easy and to stay in this box. So we'll now talk a little bit about an example.
So we're going to go ahead and illustrate this. So we're going to act out. So let's be here. we're gonna act out as husband and wife. We have our baby here. And this is probably a really good example. So,
Such a cute
this
baby.
is a really good example they use in the book. And so we're both sleeping, right? And all of a sudden we hear. So as a husband, I kind of wake up. I'm a light sleeper. I hear them. Oh man, I think someone should check on them. I should probably check on them. But this never happens to any of you all. I think, sleeping. My wife will probably get up and go check on the baby. And furthermore, I think, this is okay because I've had a hard day today. I had several meetings, had to deal with some bad clients and everything, so I deserve this. So keep crying, baby. And I'm sleeping, and then the wife, if you can go check on the baby. And there you go. That's how you start to get in the box.
So it happens. So with the example, he had a choice. He had a feeling. The baby cried. So that's the action, right? That's something that happened. He had a feeling to do something positive to help his wife out. He had a decision whether he should honor it, what he knows he should do, since his wife spun up the baby, maybe, or betray it and say, actually, I've been working all day, so I need to be here. And at that moment, that box becomes the lens that everything gets skewed through. And a lot of investment in collusion.
Yeah. So collusion is pretty much when we start blaming two people more in the box. So we start blaming the other, and we just try to justify why the other person. Why we are trying to find why is justifying our actions, right? So we are just justifying our actions, and we feel if we find out why the other person is doing that, or if we just think that we are the victim, right? So that's pretty much what we like to do.
And so back to the example with the baby, this would be like, so we're both awake, right? And now we're arguing who should go get the baby. And I say, look, I'm not gonna get the baby. I've been working too hard today. I'm tired. I need to sleep because I gotta wake up early tomorrow. And then my wife may say, are you kidding me? I've been with the baby all day long, way more hours than you. You need to go get the baby. And so we're both looking at it through that lens that we create. We go back and forth, and that back and forth, keep that collusion, keeps us both in the box, and it just perpetuates from there.
So this box becomes how you see something. So when something is set and how you see the other person just becomes a perpetuating cycle of collusion and blame, which is why we need to
Box, nice transition. Okay.
Yeah, it's dinner time.
However, I'm just gonna walk around.
What do you want us to start drawing?
All right. Okay. Yeah, everybody just. We're gonna talk about getting out of the box. We have two major concepts that we want to share with you, and you're going to see some illustrations of how to get out of the box. I'd love for this to be like one of those videos, where you're watching everything drawn and explained as we go. So we're kind of going for that feel here. What we're going to start with on this side is what you can't do to get out of the box. What we're going to put on this side are some of the things to recognize that actually help you get out of the box. So Wendy is helping us to understand a couple of the things that we cannot do to get out of the box. These are things that you might be tempted to try to do, but are really not going to solve the problem. The first idea is maybe you can fix the other person that you're in the box towards. Is that going to work? It's not going to work because of lots of reasons that we don't have time to discuss today. But we're just going to say for now that fixing the other person is not going to work because it's still outward focused, and most of the solutions we're going to talk about are actually inward focused. Okay, The next thing you might be tempted to try to do is just put up with it, cope with it. Maybe somehow you can just put your mind somewhere else on a desert island and just enjoy your alcohol to just numb yourself to whatever else is going on. But you know what? That actually doesn't box that you're in. You're still in that box. Maybe the solution is to leave. Just remove yourself completely from the situation. If that marriage isn't working, just leave. I'm sure that will solve the problem. We learned from this story that actually that doesn't work. You take the box with you when you go to that next situation. So let's not try leaving. That's actually not going to work. Okay. What about communicating? Maybe if you're a really good communicator, you can solve this problem. You can actually get to the heart of the issue and not be in the box towards that person any longer. That's pretty much, in my opinion, like fixing, but it actually doesn't work. And at this point, we start to learn that no matter what technique we try to take on ourselves, that within the box. We can stay within the box, even if we're trying to be a good communicator. Or maybe we're going to try some new technique or skill. But any technique or skill that we try, we can still stay in the box, and that does not solve the problem. Changing behavior is the same kind of thing. You can try to change your behavior all day, or use new skills and techniques, or communicate differently, but you can still stay in the box in all of those scenarios. There's still that part of you that is blaming the other person, and you are still betraying yourself. And as you get through these, there's still the self-justifications of, I'm better, and this person is justifying my reason for being in the box towards them. What can we do to get out of the box? About 1 minute? Thank you. So recognize those ideas that come as a feeling. That's where you start, and act on those. Second, recognizing that you're in the box is the first step to getting out of the box, because now you're focusing on yourself and the challenges that you create. You're questioning your own virtue. The next one is start to see people as people and not as objects, and you want to care for them, to be concerned for them. And we see that illustrated many times throughout the book. And then the last idea that we're going to present here is don't resist the person that you're in the box towards. Fighting against that will only make things worse. Hopefully this gives you a feel for some of the things that won't work to get it out of the box, and some things that will help you to get out of the box.
Okay, so one of the three groups is going to feel bad because we have two prizes. So we're going to clap it. Okay, who thought the first one was best? Who thought the second one was best? Who thought the third one was best? All right, third group, where are you? Wins. Second group gets second place. First group, we're going to clap for because they had to go first. All right, see you next week.
People might think that was a heart. Or is a butt? Get out of here. Don't. That's a good thing. That was like that was perfect. The way you said that, described that. Especially on such a last one, that worked out. One of those things where I listened to it today. Yeah. I did. Good job. Did he really?
Way to go. Good job.
It's fun.
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of you.
Some treats. I haven't gone yet. Hey, that's okay. This is we just share this out. This is it's for everybody.
Do you like
Absolutely. No, it's great.
I'm so good.
Should I pick? Are you sure? Some good stuff in here.
I know. I just had 2 Twizzlers and 2 Thin Mints, and I haven't had a good fat meat in like weeks. I'm
Have a good week.
So anyway, I thought about that story. It's good to do that. His loss.
So, flavor, apparently you can break that down.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah. I know by 8, from the 8, I don't know if the power works.
That way you don't have to go. But for this time, are you sure? Because that's like well, if you need to help me, I can.
He's your neighbor. Okay.
Okay. How many?
Yes.
That's half. That's way up.
But if you can try one more.
Try one more time.
I would love the
Right, I know, there's certain companies.
Oh, I gotta go take off one of those.
What? I appreciate you. A lot.
I'll be here next week, but I'll miss the week after.
Right.
Yeah, but you know.
15.
I'm good. Let me know if I can help. How are you? That was very.
Yeah, you're actually a hidden skill.
One of the things I inherited about a year ago was someone retired and running with our security company. So it's just they sent the random email. I was just curious and looking at what they were asking me about. I guess. We've never actually hearted like every dad and daughter actually hearted for 3 years. Our losses intended to be services. We've actually shut down and redone it. At first it was okay, and then it stretched too much to the point where it's certain to be done. I was always good community. Probably the most Is that probably a conversation we're gonna have to have? That's true. They started posting, we actually have a problem with something about 16 or whatever. Post that says, oh, go to this. I'm like, that's for you. It's really for students, student space in the student center. So.